What's up, my pungios? Andy with Andy Vlogs, excited to share with you guys this content here. As the title suggests, we're going to be going over the brand new, newly released iPad mini. Now, I've purchased the iPad in the past. This is the iPad mini 6th gen. I had the iPad mini 2nd gen. That's the reason why I picked this up. It's the reason why I ended up deciding to get the space gray version, 256 gigabytes. And I'm really excited to be able to share this with you guys. It is equipped to use the Apple Pen, which I think is fantastic, and I've reviewed in the past. It also does support some of the other third-party. With that said, let's go ahead and unbox it, set it up, and show you why you'd want to get something like this, honestly. One of the main reasons why I would pick up an iPad mini is because, well, gaming. I like to have something that's bigger. I like to have something in the palm of my hands but isn't too bulky. It's going to be a fantastic complement to your lifestyle. The iPad mini measures diagonally 8.3 inches. Now, who is this iPad geared towards? This one that I opted into, the 256 gigabyte Wi-Fi only, is going to set you back $649. Just spitball here, honestly, at that price point, you can get yourself a mid-tier or a low-end kind of a PC. You can get a Chromebook, obviously, that's a little more high-end. But with this iPad mini being revamped here, I'm thinking it's for your teenager, your kids, your college student who's looking to be able to have everything all in one screen. A little bit different than the iPhone variant here, the iPad mini 6th gen utilizes a USB Type-C charging. But I don't see it being something that I'll carry around to take pictures with, to be honest. I'm going to try it out and edit some vlogs with this because, well, quite frankly, my phone itself is a little too small. I want to be able to use a stylus to do some editing for my weekly vlogs, so that's what I'm going to be using it for today. Just out of the box, this thing's beautiful. It feels like just an enlarged Pro Max. I mean, you've got the chassis around the edge, which is similar to the chassis of the 12 Pro Max. I don't think it quite feels like the 13. You do, however, have a much more rounded edge than the 12. I guess that is similar to the 13. You've got your typical space gray black with a nice camera punch out, also with LED and sensor. Bottom side, you've got the USB Type-C charging port as well as the speaker grill. It looks like we've got stereo speakers. I'm not used to that. You've got the button on the top as well as the volume rocker on the sides. I'm pretty excited to be able to Netflix and chill with this guy. This definitely fits in the palm of my hand, but obviously I'm not going to be able to do anything with it, control with it. You've got on the front here, you've got the front-facing camera, and I really like this. This is fantastic. With it on, you can now see the appropriate screen size. You are losing a lot of real estate here to these bezels. A little disappointed at that. I was hoping that it would go all the way to the edge. We're going to get this started and then show you some of the other features of the device. This has Touch ID. Touch ID is honestly my favorite feature of the iPad, the iPhone ecosystem. They've done away with it on the 13. I think that's a shame. Face ID is all right, but this uses Touch ID on the top here. You kind of just press the button. There you go. That's it. It was that fast. It's super responsive. It uses Touch ID from all the previous generations, and I think it's fantastic. You can use that to also buy things, purchase stuff on the App Store, sign into stuff. I think it's fantastic. It's so secure. No one's going to be able to replicate it, and it's going to keep kids from getting into places where they shouldn't. When it comes to the iPad mini, you definitely want to make sure that you get yourself a stylus. It's a no-brainer here. This is from UPencil 3. This is from a company called Uogic. This is not a sponsored video from them, but just know that they gave this pen to me complimentary. So I wanted to use this. It's much cheaper, much more affordable. The link will be down below in the description if it's right on top of the iPad. I am running iPad OS 15, which uses all the latest and greatest features of the OS marketplace. What's great about this pencil is it's so simple to connect. You push the top of the device and then you just kind of hover by touching the screen, and it's already controlling it. So now I'm going to show you some of the different apps that I use when I go in here and play with it. So Pigment is an app that I like to use to just doodle. It's mainly just to offload stress or thoughts in my head onto a canvas sheet of paper. Start a new project. And what's nice is it has the palm rejection, and you should be able to just kind of color as you want to, however you want to. Let's switch colors here. It fills and looks so good. Let's do a blending effect. I want to blend these two colors in. As you zoom in, you can kind of see the texture here, that it's a really thick blend. But if you wanted to mix these colors here together, oh, it's a great little effect here. I'm obviously no illustrator, but I like to have my fun on the app. There's plenty of different apps out there that you can use, you know, for making content. Okay, so I like to use two different apps when editing photos. I like to use Snapseed. This is from Google. I'm gonna grab one of the photos that I just downloaded here, and I'm gonna show you a couple of the features. On the right hand side, you can use your thumb to kind of scroll up and down to these different looks. Otherwise, you can go in and you can do manual editing. I'm gonna go and crop this photo here. You can have the crop format show you the different sizes if you want. We'll do it square here. We can zoom in and look, there's a really high quality picture. I'm a little blurry, so we're gonna go in here and we're gonna tune the image just slightly. We'll go ahead and bring the brightness down a little bit. We'll bring the contrast down a little bit, get a little more of those flatter grayer tones in the shadows. We'll give a tiny bit of saturation. I really like this ambience, but not too much. If you hold down on the picture, you can kind of see the difference. It pulls a little bit from the clouds. Highlights will go a little bit as well. Shadows will bring out slightly, and then warmth will bring in because it's a little cool. I like that feature. Why don't we go in and do details? I like to do the structure. It gets like a really grainy look, and it kind of sharpens the picture here. Let's save it. I'll save it as a copy. There we go. The next app that I want to feature here for video editing is InShot. InShot has the ability to make videos as well as pictures for Instagram. Nonetheless, today we're going to pull some videos that I've already downloaded from the cloud, and we're going to edit them. What's nice is a bunch of different features here. First, I'm going to do the background and make sure that it fits without a border. It's going to be 16 by 9, and then we're just going to go ahead and edit it. That was me showcasing this product, so we'll hit play. Okay, I'm going to trim in a little bit. Okay, right after that phrase, we'll cut out that whole other section. Okay, we'll cut it to there. So now we've got and then if you want, you can add a transition here. You can add these different effects. You can have a really long transition. Okay, and then you can export it into different sizes if you want. 4K, 720, 1080. You've got all the gamut here of all these other different sizes. Alright, let's go ahead and go into some games that I like to use on the iPad. This does have controller support, so if you have a mobile controller, you can. I don't, so I'm going to be using my thumbs, obviously. One of my games I like to just play with is this Grim Valor. It's a pretty fun action or RPG kind of Castlevania-esque game. It does save on the cloud. I'm just going to jump right into my character. Seamlessly cloud support, which I think is fantastic. This device has such fantastic graphics. Boom, take that, fiends. Fell fiends. These guys are, oh gosh, I just died on those spikes. Whoops. Hello. Woof. Can't really, Ow, I died again. I'm really bad at this game. Don't you hit the hammer? Ouch. We did it. Alright, nailed it. Okay, one thing I want to show you here on the iPad that is incredible, that I think is fantastic, that I think all apps should definitely consider. And this has a smart face follow. So for instance, if I hold it over here, the app is going to try its best to grab my face. If I'm going to hold it over here, it's the same thing. It's going to try to grab the face as best it can. If we're going and showing the chin, it's going to try to pull my face as best it can. If it's got my forehead, it pulls it down. It's really, really intuitive, making FaceTime calls so much better, because how many times have I called my parents or called my little niece and she's got like my forehead and you can't even see anything, but it's like this smart zoom in where if you have it close, it pulls back and then grabs my face. If you pull it back, it's going to center the face as best as it can, making that, you know, where you need to focus on. I think it's fantastic. It's the new iOS 15, and this is exactly why you're going to be using the iPad. Alright, the iPad didn't reinvent the wheel here. They're not trying to use this as the, you know, your go-to for vlogging and taking pictures and photos. But nonetheless, you've got all the different features of the, you know, onboard camera that you would with on iPhones. And they've upped the ante with making the camera a little bit stronger, a little bit better. So you can see here, you've got a couple of different features. You've got video, you've got slow-mo, you've got square, you've got pano. So you're kind of limited here in the different features that you've got. But it's still got quite a few. I mean, if you want to do slow-mo here on the app, you've got that ability. You can even zoom up to 3x, which I think is decent. It doesn't have optical image stabilization, so as you can see, it is very shaky. When we go into the video, though, you can see that there's a little bit more dynamic or software stabilization, and this only goes up to 3x, which is 77 millimeters. Let's flip it over to my face and show you here that you can go, you know, kind of an ultra wide. This is the base camera. It's an ultra wide, and then it punches in. That's how they're able to do that smart cam follow with the video, because you can punch into 1x or ultra wide and it zooms in anyway. I'm recording here, as you guys can see the overlay. It doesn't look too bad. The audio is decent. You can't change or zoom while you're in this, and I feel like it does do a little bit of stabilization from a software standpoint. But I think this is pretty good. I mean, if you're a 13-year-old wanting to start a YouTube channel, this is the go-to. Zooming in here, we can take a shot. Zooming out, we can take another shot. Flipping the camera here, showing you what that looks like. Wow, that's really stable. They've really stabilized this. That looks really, really good. You can even zoom in. You can't zoom out. 1x is the best. But you can zoom in, and it looks really, really good. I am really impressed. I mean, I've harped on iPad cameras for forever. You can tell that it is really grainy. It's not good in low light. This is more of a low light situation. But nonetheless, again, we're talking about the demographic that we're looking at. Nextly, guys, I wanted to feature here and showcase the audio. This is stereo audio. There's two different speakers that play back, and it is quite amazing, I'll be honest. Here it goes. Ooh, that sounds so good. Man, this is so good. It sounds so great for this little tiny iPad. It is bumping. So you don't have to fear. They've got you on the audio side. With that said, folks, that's going to wrap it up here. If I haven't already helped you make your decision, then I think you should definitely. This is a fantastic product. It is all that you can think of, all that you can imagine, all in one. You've got both ecosystems from Google and Apple. You've got so much productivity, creativity, gaming. You even got the camera stuff, which is good with folks having to be locked down in the pandemic. FaceTime is fantastic, having that feature where it zooms in and finds your face so that you can see grandma and you're just looking at her forehead, or even your little nieces and nephews who are like showing the inside of their nose. It'll pull up and show you that. The iPad OS 15 is such a fantastic product with really, really cool notifications, and you've got the focus things in the control center. You can play awesome games. It's got such a great chip and processor. It didn't get warm. Not to mention those beats. It's so awesome. So with that said, guys, if you like this content, hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more. My name is Andy. We'll see you on the next one.